What's going on, though, fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. It's been a while since our last video. To be honest, I haven't really been making videos because there hasn't really been any great updates to show you guys. But of course, today we have some massive updates. Bitcoin actually made a new all-time high today. It broke the previous all-time high by, I believe it was like $100 or so on Binance. And it was just a wick, but I do think we will see continuation, and I'll show you guys a number of reasons why during the later on the video. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those pages. Be sure to follow my X page for sure, because I do make base native content pieces, and I have been posting there quite often. But let's get right into it. First of all, for liquidations, we had a shit ton of shorts getting liquidated today, and that's of course apparent because we did hit all-time highs on Bitcoin. We have $450 million in shorts with only 60 mil for longs. So let's see where that takes us. To be honest, I have mentioned to you guys in the past, if we do see liquidations tick over 500 mil, we are in risk of like a mean reversion happening. So therefore, since we had a shit ton of shorts getting liquidated today, we can expect a bit of a pullback. We can actually see this on the long short ratio. But to be honest, when it comes to liquidation heat map, it's showing a different story. As you guys can see on the 3 monthly, there actually isn't much liquidity below us. So we might have just a shallow pullback. But of course, when it comes to lower time frames, we're actually getting quite a bit of liquidity getting built up below us. So of course, we have a bit of liquidity over at the 106k region. I'm not sure if we'll actually hit that because it will break some structure on the charts. But let's see where that takes us. For long short ratio on our chart I've shown you guys in the past, surprisingly, it's actually dropping quite quickly, which just shows there's a lot of bears actually shorting the top here. And to be honest, like I told you guys in the past, every time we've printed red, generally there is a leg up to the upside. And as you guys can see, we're actually like technically making lower lows here. So I wouldn't be surprised what happens here is once Bitcoin breaks out to the upside, we actually squeeze up ahead, and that will be a massive leg up to the upside. And it's just showing me that Bitcoin is starting to curl up, and more than likely the shorts are actually going to be utterly wrecked in the remainder of these next 3 months or so. When it comes to Ethereum to Bitcoin, we have some really nice chart updates because, of course, I told you guys, look, ideally what happens is for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we break out and at least reclaim this pennant. So as you guys can see, I drew this up back in mid-June, and finally we've actually perfectly reclaimed this. We've finally gone into within the pennant, and what we like to see is a breakout to the upside and a retest of this pennant. We can finally head to that 0.029 region, which will be a major resistance level, but I do really think that we'll probably hit that within the next 30 days or so, just based on the charts and what I think is going to happen. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin did hit that all-time high, but of course, there really isn't much to say about this because we only just wicked above all-time highs. But something to note is, and to be honest, I should have made a video earlier on, and just something to show you guys. As you guys can see, if I just take my pen, let me just get my pen here, so it's, yeah, just here. Every time we hit like near the 110k region, I'll just circle them here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's technically 5, and then technically 6. And as you guys can see, every time we've hit that key region, we've completely, absolutely rejected, and Bitcoin got destroyed immediately after. But as you guys can see, the past week, around the 4th of July, we hit that region and we didn't actually nuke like 5% plus. We only nuked a few percent, and we actually started consolidating. And as you guys can see, we actually finally had that breakout. So what we would like to see here is another few days of actually consolidation here. And that will just show me Bitcoin is actually gaining strength. Because as you guys can see, we pretty much reject every single time. So the first and second time, we actually had like really flash wicks to the upside. And then after the third and fourth touches, we actually had some closes, with the fourth touch actually getting multiple closes. And now finally, for once, we actually had pretty much a week of consolidation at the high. So this just shows me Bitcoin is gaining strength. And if we actually do reject here, let's say if we reject here and head down to the 108k for another retest, I do think the next touch to the all-time highs will actually get broken because we've just hit this top so many times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we do reject here and maybe next week we break all-time highs, that will technically be the 7th touch. And it just shows to me, and like I've told you guys multiple times, every time we get that touch, it tends to weaken that resistance area. And come on, like the 6th or 7th touch is basically a near guaranteed way of breaking out. But of course, none of this is actually confirmed. We still haven't got multiple daily closes above all-time highs. And what I would definitely would like to see is actually continuation, not just a scam wick above a head. Because if I go down to, let's go down to the 15-minute. As you guys can see, it's a bit messy, but as you guys can see, we only hit the all-time high for like 10 minutes. So we definitely want to see continuation and multiple closes at the all-time high, not just a scam wick, because scam wick doesn't really help us. But when it comes to Ethereum is actually looking really strong here. As you guys can see, we're actually closed above the range high, and what's really left is multiple daily closes above this purple line. Reason being is the last time we actually had this, we had a scam wick to the upside, and it was basically a confirmed breakout. So what I would like to see is we actually have multiple daily closes, at least more daily closes than we had on the previous fake out. So as you guys can see, we had technically 2 daily closes above the purple line. So I would definitely like to see at least 3, which would tell me that more than likely Ethereum is actually having a successful move and isn't a fake out. And more than likely we'll head to that 3K region like I've always told you guys. And if we do head to that 3K region, I do expect the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart to break out and head to the major 2.9 region, which will of course mean base native token assets like TOSHI and ALB base will go absolutely ballistic and will really start kicking off. And just for more charts to show you guys and something interesting that I saw. So this is the total 2 chart. And as you guys can see, we actually had a successful breakout on this consolidation. We've been on a downward consolidation for the total 2 chart. And just a reminder too, the total 2 chart is basically the total market cap of all coins except Bitcoin. And as you guys can see, we've actually consolidated and been on a downtrend since December. And we're finally broken out. We had our first ever 2-day daily candle breakout to the upside. And really what's left is this RSI to actually break out to the upside, which would tell me seller exhaustion is happening and buyers actually stepping in. This is actually a really good update to show you guys, because this just tells me that more than likely the leg up for the total coin market cap is actually happening right now. And that, like, the final confirmation and the nail in the coffin that we are going to see that leg up, in my opinion, is when we actually see the RSI breaking out. So ideally what we would like to see is that RSI of 62 get broken out and we actually see a retest and then continuation, just like we had here. So we're probably gonna have a monster leg up for the remainder of this month and as well as August, because it just fits the timelines in my opinion. And just another update for Total 3. So Total 3 is actually excluding Ethereum, and this just shows me here, looking at the chart, we're pretty much like 2 weeks behind the Total 2 chart. And the reason being is the Total 2 chart actually hasn't broken out yet. And it's looking like, to me, it needs at least a few more days, maybe a week or 2 to actually break out of this. And same goes for the RSI. So we actually haven't seen that breakout of the downward consolidation since December for the Total 3 chart, which is obviously more catered towards the altcoins because it doesn't include Ethereum, whereas Total 2 does, and Ethereum is in a stronger spot as it stands, hence why it's actually seen a breakout for Total 2s. So I guess the verdict to tell you guys is we're having really good progress for altcoins, and just altcoins are lagging a bit, which is to be expected. And I do expect this consolidation to break out for Total 3 once Bitcoin actually prints continuous all-time highs, not just a scam wick to the upside, because that really doesn't help anyone, and we actually need some continuation. And I do expect, and I probably would not be surprised, Bitcoin has another pullback here, maybe to the retest that pennant once again at the 108.5k region. I'll probably not expect no more than that. And if we do get that retest, more than likely we see that bounce, and for the 7th touch, we actually get a successful breakout to the upside, which will obviously like really destroy the bears and the shorters. And I do expect liquidations to probably hit nearly the 1 billion region once that happens, probably sometime this month. Next up is the stock market. Stock market is looking really good. We actually had a bit of a retest the past week, and it's looking like we're probably going to have like a little bull flag here, maybe some consolidation, which is totally fine. Obviously, the stock market has had a massive run to the upside. Like, it's obviously had a V-shaped recovery, so we can expect a slowdown for the time being, which is totally fine. And this just means risk on assets can actually finally catch up, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. And when it comes to more risk on assets, of course, TOSHI has a really nice update to show you guys. So obviously, TOSHI, in my opinion, is the #1 base native meme coin of base chain. I don't think it's Brett, because main reason is TOSHI is fairly launched, and TOSHI is looking really nice here. as you guys can see, we've been consolidating in this channel, this rising channel for the time being, for the pretty much the past 3 weeks. And we've actually broken out. We've had that daily close above. What I would like to see now is a retest of this rising channel and then a breakout to the upside. And more than likely, I think that really initiates TOSHI's speed and just performance, really, because there isn't really much resistance levels until about the 6.5 region, as well as the previous high. So if we do get past the 6.5 region, I do expect TOSHI to really start speeding up, because there isn't really much resistance within this area. Same goes for Ethereum. Like it sort of looks similar to the Ethereum chart in my opinion. And if we see that breakout, like look, your entries for this red box is out. Like in my opinion, if we do reclaim that 6.5 region, I don't think TOSHI actually ever touches this level until the next bear market. More than likely, TOSHI will be heading into all-time highs. And I've told you guys over on my X, so be sure to follow my X page. I have been giving a lot of TA updates of TOSHI because I just think it's so bullish. And I do think altcoins as well as TOSHI and base native token assets will go absolutely massive. And when it comes to updates for Alien Base is still consolidating. And I did tell you guys, look, I do think Alien Base is going to lag. It's a microcap, and when it comes to microcaps, it's the most risk-on asset you can think of. And generally, microcaps usually top way later on in the bull cycle. So I do expect Alien Base to lag a bit, and I do only expect Alien Base to really start moving once Ethereum is actually above that 3K region, because I do think $3,000 will really kickstart the risk on pretty much on-chain alt season, which will include tokens like Alien Base, etc. And I just think Alien Base needs more time. So when it comes to like just DCAing and accumulating a position, Alien Base is in a really good spot right now. This purple box, in my opinion, is a very good risk to reward spot. And to be honest, if like I guess I just another narrative to show you guys. Look, like in my opinion, Alien Base will absolutely explode once Aerodrome actually goes well into all-time highs. So of course, when it comes to Aerodrome is the #1 base native DEX on base chain. And as it stands, all-time high was 2 billion. And Aerodrome is still well off that. And in my opinion, once Aerodrome gets to the 2 billion plus range, I think Alien Base will absolutely explode. Reason being is, Alien Base is technically the second base native DEX on base chain. And just typically how it goes is, the main token of that niche pops off, and then people look for high betas of that token. So same way as Aerodrome and TOSHI being the high beta of Ethereum, in my opinion, Alien Base is the high beta of Aerodrome. So once Aerodrome gets into the $2 billion range, I think Alien Base will go absolutely explosive and probably end up being like 20% of the Aerodrome market cap. So you guys can do the calculations. But in my opinion, it just makes sense that Alien Base is waiting for Aerodrome. And I guess if you could put in an analogy, Aerodrome walked so Alien Base could run. And that will probably happen in the next like 3 to 6 months or so, later on into the peak or top of the bull market. But I guess verdict is Alien Base is a really good risk to reward spot to accumulate. And TOSHI, you guys are really running out of time. And I guess this just to show you guys on the on-chain chart as well. We're actually having higher lows on the TOSHI price, which is really good to see. And pretty much the major resistance point to recover is this purple box here. If we get above there, like I said, if we do, this red box probably won't be seen until later on into the bear market. And you guys are missing out on that position. So pretty much for TOSHI, if you see a retest of his bull channel, more than likely that is your last time to accumulate TOSHI. And I do expect continuation, especially if Ethereum really gains into the 3K region and starts gaining strength, which it looks like it does. And really, we just need Bitcoin to break out to all-time highs and actually have back-to-back all-time high days, because a wick doesn't cut it, and we definitely just need more price action for that. Tweet from Astronomer: the plan, the trade, result. The bears are getting repetitive by now. It's been every major dip so far with sentiment type B present and still not type A like in 2022. They prompted us to remain bullish, confirm our plan, hold the long. Next step is 120k. So Astronomer, like me, I did expect 150k to come along, and I probably won't be surprised that happens sometime in August. And I do think that the 120k region will be hit this month. And really, like, it's a time to ramp up, really. Like, Bitcoin is really looking like it wants to break out. And as I told you guys, it's pretty much this Bitcoin's 7th touch for this 110k area. and it's really looking like it wants to break out. And if it doesn't break out today or tomorrow, we're probably going to see that retest. And if we do see that retest, that's probably going to be the last time to bid Bitcoin if you like, but most likely altcoins, because I do think the risk reward for altcoins are much better in this time of the bull cycle right now. But yeah, so that's all to the video, guys. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe. Be sure to comment down below if you guys have any questions around my content. And be sure to follow my X page, because I do make a lot of base native content pieces over on my X page. And especially because Bitcoin and Ethereum is looking like it really wants to break out, base tokens will go absolutely ballistic. And I do share some alpha specifically around the base chain over there. So that's all to the video, guys. Have a good day. Have a good one. Peace.